welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I am.
You went into
Jello fucking Biafra.
You started going into it.
I did. I'm Mark Storrs, not Jello Biafra, and with me as always is.
Grass Carnasali.
And
Rob Morphy.
I'm a free man.
You can do what you want.
Yeah, fucking do it.
You can be as Jello as you need to be.
I mean, I'm out of quarantine, so I'm a free man.
Oh, I thought you were going to literally explain away why you were doing Jello Biafra for a minute
with
there.
my Jello Biafra
Yeah.
freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've actually spent the last 2 weeks in quarantine, unable to leave my house. Even though I had a negative test, I still had to stay in quarantine because I'm doing the right thing.
You are.
I did it.
You're doing the right thing.
You are doing society's duty,
Even though
buddy.
at 14 days, I was like, if I'm positive and I get sick at day 15, I'm going to be so mad.
Oh, that would be a
At
wicked pisser.
everybody.
Yeah.
So thankfully,
Oh, my
I'm
God.
fine.
All right.
I'm out. We're back together again. We're recording. Kryptonaut Podcast, Patreon shout-outs, patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. Robert, let's shout out these awesome people that support us monthly with their contributions.
Fucking A right.
All right.
Let's start with, and this is fucking brilliant, Ice Ship Mice Elf.
Oh, my God.
When that came in, I was like, I don't even know what to do.
The hell?
It's great.
But I like it.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful Ice Ship. Moving on, Pat T.
Hell yeah, Pat T. What up?
Marina Hellervik.
I love that last name,
Nice.
Marina.
Yeah.
That last name is fucking metal as fuck.
Yeah, it really is.
It's awesome.
Moving on to Reese Plant.
Awesome, Reese. Thank you so much.
Zellerborg.
Even more metal. Zellerborg, what up?
And rounding it out with James Pace.
Awesome. Thank you
James
so very
Pace.
much, James. Yeah, the Patreon, check it out if you want to contribute money monthly. $1 is a shout out, $5 is a shout out bonus audio. Both tiers get you onto the Discord. We're there. We got Chris on there last week.
I was.
He was there talking.
Yeah, for the first time. It was super exciting.
Yeah.
We were all talking. It was dope. So thank you to everyone that supports us there. We appreciate it. Hellerspace.com, Robert. Mm-hmm. Christopher, we've got new products.
What do we have?
Pillows.
Tillos, you mean?
Yeah, we have I told Chris about this, and I said Tillos because I can't talk.
You also said tapestries.
I said tapestries.
I'm like, who the fuck are you?
We have tapestries.
Did you even English growing up?
Clearly, you guys have known me for how long, and our listeners have listened to me talk for how many episodes?
That's
I can't
true.
talk. Tapestries and Tillos,
Oh, I'm so excited.
phone cases,
Wow.
laptop cases.
What did you do? Just unlock all sorts of rewards?
I was on TeePublic actually, and I was looking at the shit, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how our shit would look on a pillow.
Yeah.
And it's the holidays.
It is the holidays.
So for Graham, she gets the pillow.
Yeah.
The Tilla.
Okay.
And then Pop gets the phone case, and then your weird cousin can get the tapestry, and then everyone has their presents.
There it is.
Everyone gets a present.
So it's actually a gift to our listeners.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
They're paying for it, and then we're getting a portion of
yeah,
that.
No, I
so.
understand. That's called sarcasm.
Yeah, no. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I just figured,
man.
why not? Let's unlock them. And I mean, because who wouldn't want a Kryptonaut pillow?
I feel like I'm
They're
going to have
great.
to start
Yeah.
earning tickets. Like we're some booth at an arcade where, you bolt
There's-
the wooden ball up the hole just enough time.
There's like a weird State Fair cheddar factor to it.
Yeah.
Because the pillow
There
really
is.
looks like something you'd get from the State Fair.
No, 100%. There's a Corey Haim poster you can get. We're not giving you access to it.
Yeah, no. There's a weird Cobra mirror.
There's a
that you
Cobra,
can
yeah,
get.
there's a
Yeah, the
Cobra.
black light
Cobra.
poster.
Yeah, but I figured, you know what? The products are there. If people want to get them, they can get them.
That's true. Nobody has to get these things. And the pillow is bound to be better than the bootleg Amazon one that you procured some months
Yes,
ago.
actually, I spent the 2 weeks with that thing in the basement on the couch with that thing. It's a terrible pillow, by the way. It's god awful.
Oh, so it's not even
No,
ugly
terrible.
comfortable?
It's terrible. Every time I put my head on it, would just ruin my hair and get caught in my beard, and the graphics all blown out.
Caught in your
and-
beard.
Yeah, how does a
how does
pillow-
a pillowcase get caught in your
'Cause
beard?
it's got like it's like pilly almost. It's got like weird shit to it, like a weird.
What's
fabric.
Berber?
Yeah, it's it's like a weird it's almost like a weird jacket material or something. It just sucks. But there's also a bunch of Amazon bootlegs. There's like weird like cape blankets you can get, and
Oh, like
Cloaks?
yeah,
You
it's
mean-
kind of like a cloak. But
Cape-
it's
what are
a
they
cape
called?
blanket?
Slunkies?
like
What
a-
the fuck are they called?
Slunkies?
Snuggie?
What's a slunkie?
Yes, that's what I'm
Yes,
looking for.
you-
Yes, it's the offshoot.
You can
Snuggie.
go on Amazon and
The
you
slunkies.
can go on Amazon and get the direct from whatever bootleg factory overseas it comes from. Fucking bootleg Snuggie.
Yeah.
So
Oh my.
don't buy that shit. It's all garbage. I buy it because it's novelty.
Sure.
Because when you're it's kind of cool that like oh, people like want to bootleg our shit even though they have no clue who we are because the descriptions make no fucking sense. But still,
I know.
So anyway, get yourself some merch. It's the holidays.
Sadly though, the phone, because I was looking at the phone cases. The Samsungs only go up to like a Samsung 8.
Yeah.
Like I have a Samsung 10, so that doesn't work. I think the iPhones are maybe up to date.
Yeah, and again, if you're into it, grab it. Cool. If not, whatever. There's T-shirts.
There's T-shirts. There's pillows.
There's pillows.
Tapestries.
The tapestries actually are really fucking dope.
They do look pretty cool.
Are they any of the designs that you want, basically?
Oh, yeah. Well,
like if you wanted to get a...
They are... Not all of the designs are available. Only certain designs are available because
so you
of
can't
resolution.
get a Potosi sheep slayer?
No.
Because that's the only...
That is available in a phone case, though.
It's a phone case.
Oh, well,
yeah.
well, not for my phone.
It might
not
be,
my rank-ass bootylicious phone.
You could also get a Potosi sheep slayer pillow.
Until it comes in slunky. I don't give a fuck.
Slunky. Nice.
Fucking slunky.
All right. So this week we are talking about the strange case of Granger Taylor. This is coming to us from the lovely land of Canada.
It is.
We have a listener and many a friend in Canada.
We do.
We
Thank
fucking
you,
do.
Canada.
Brethren and sistren.
Yes.
I don't know actually how to say that part.
I'm in for sistren.
Yep, sistren.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our Canadian folks.
Our
Thank you.
allies to the end.
Yes.
I feel like they're our besties.
I mean, we're 2 hours away. If they wanted to help, they could, but they don't.
They do.
Wait, what?
They could bring us over the border anytime.
What are you talking about?
They could
there's
bring
a
us
lot
over.
of emotional support. There's a lot of...
No, I'm talking physically relocating us to Canada.
Oh, you mean like underground railroading us
Yes,
into Canada?
I need to be a fucking Canadian citizen. I need the weed, I need the health care, and I could use a better job. So.
Fair enough.
Let's get started with, in the autumn of 1980, a shy and astonishingly bright, self-taught machinist left his lifelong home with a promise to return in 3.5 years. His stated plan was to explore the wonders of the universe as a guest aboard an extraterrestrial spacecraft. The only problem was, he never made it back.
Damn shame. It's a shame.
Well, I mean, there's the end, so...
Yep, so...
See you next week? I mean, that's kind of bullshit.
Worst 1-star iTunes review, worst podcast ever.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I do love reading through them, and it's like, oh, we love you guys. Great. Cuss it. Get off on your F-bombs, do you?
You guys think you're cool because you use the F. It
is funny, like when there is a review like that, it's always usually about swearing. It's usually always about that.
You're clearly not an adult, so don't listen to podcasts.
Right.
Too many fucks. Too many fucking fucks. Too many fuck-sucking fucks.
Nice.
Sorry.
Oh, it's funny. All right, Granger Taylor, Robert. What do we got?
This. On the night of November 29th, 1980, gale force winds tore through the central portion of British Columbia's Vancouver Island, knocking out the electricity and sending locals scurrying for shelter. But as terrible as the tempest may have been, it's not the squalls or the blackout that citizens remember from that fateful night. It's that they lost one of their own.
Oh, man.
In the midst of this violent storm, a young man named Granger Ormond Taylor posted a short note on his parents' bedroom door and walked out of the family home, leaving all of his worldly possessions behind, including $10,000. He climbed into his pale pink 1972 Datsun pickup, drove past the flying saucer replica he had built in his backyard, and was never heard from again.
Dude, he's got a
wait a minute.
He has a pink pickup truck and a UFO in his backyard?
Pepto Pink.
This guy sounds fucking cool as shit.
Replica.
That's dude.
Yeah.
I hang out with this dude.
Yeah, it's not reverse engineered, I don't think.
Yeah, he just jam out in his truck and go hang out in his UFO and drink beers.
No, Granger Ormond Taylor seems like he's pretty much the shit, and I don't think by the time we get to the end of this, you're going to think less of him.
Okay. Oh, we may have a new friend.
Well, not so much. We kind of missed that opportunity.
Man. All right.
From again.
Fuck.
Shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Spoiler. This series of events, though disconcerting, are not in and of themselves particularly remarkable. What makes this case worthy of note nearly 40 years after the fact is the content of the letter that Taylor left behind. It read, and here it is in its totality. Dear Mother and Father, I have gone away to walk aboard an alien ship as reoccurring dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe. then return. I am leaving behind all my possessions to you, as I will no longer require the use of any. Please use the instructions in my will as a guide to help. Love, Granger.
Okay, so as a child, I would love to leave my parents that note. But as a parent, I would hate to get that note from my kid.
Exactly.
I would be like, no, what are you doing?
The worst.
Yeah, I mean, unless like, no, don't do it. Like, what the fuck? There's no unless. Like, that's a bummer. But I would love to leave that note for my parents.
Well,
like, guess what?
Especially if you're actually only gone, like, from your dumpster hideaway for like 12 hours. Hey, man, it was your own UFO. I'm not judging.
It was freedom.
It was.
I was extending my freedom. My
Mark
arms
and freedom.
Okay,
freedom.
well,
go hand in hand tonight.
Come on now. We're just,
All right.
we're likening it to that.
Okay.
Yes,
All
exactly.
Who's judging you?
I had freedom for a couple of hours, and then the snacks ran out, and I had to go home.
Gotta go home with
peanut
snacks
butter
around.
bars.
A hungry man.
A hungry man
After 2 hours of eating snacks
knows
in the
how to find his
dumpster.
home.
Making your girlfriends go scavenge for fucking snacky cakes.
Oh my God. Your love harem feeding you at the dumpster.
It was one girl, okay? It was
Okay, girlfriend.
Yeah, it was my girlfriend at the time. Well, she was my girl. She was a girl who was a friend. We were not boyfriend and girlfriend. I wanted to be, but we were not.
Wow. This is less awesome in each retelling.
I love to think that she talks about it like we talk about it. Like,
I hope
dude,
she
I
did too.
fucking kind of dated this one guy. He lived in a dumpster for like 6 hours. I just had to keep bringing him Little Debbie. He was a fucking asshole.
Oh shit! All right, so Granger Taylor leaves a note. He takes off.
Yes.
I like how this guy's. I like what he's doing here.
On the opposite side of the hand-scrawled letter was a contour map of Waterloo Mountain, which was located some 20 miles west of the Taylor property. What relation the map or the mountain may or may not have had with Taylor's disappearance is just one of the many unsolved mysteries associated with this curious case. Frankly, there's not a lot of information in the public forum regarding Granger Taylor. More has come to light since I first wrote about this, and I'll deal with that as we get through it, but still not a ton. But if we are to make an attempt to understand what circumstances led to this gifted yet peculiar young man falling, perhaps literally, off the face of the earth, then we must go back to the beginning when this reclusive individual was hailed as a child prodigy. Born on October 7th, 1948, Taylor hailed from Duncan, Vancouver Island, a logging and fishing town located in the Canadian province of British Columbia, and had what his friends and neighbors hailed as an astonishing aptitude for constructing and repairing all manner of mechanical devices. One of Taylor's oldest friends, Bob Nielsen, even went so far as to say, "I guess you could call him an eccentric genius." Taylor, who lived on his mother and stepfather's wooded Somenos Lake property until the day he vanished, was an 8th grade dropout. But despite his lack of a formal education, he was considered by all who knew him to be a self-taught mechanical wizard. The best kind of wizard.
The wizard.
Those are
Hephaestus-like.
I know a lot of people that are
Not wizards?
No, they are wizards in their own right. But yeah, they like school wise wasn't their jam, and they're like, "Fucking, I'm out of here."
Yeah, no,
and they have all made out
you're
great.
absolutely looking at one of them.
They've all done better than I have. So,
I mean, I made it past 8th grade-ish. No, I graduated high school.
I was going to say you graduated high school.
But by the skin of my teats. So barely.
Yeah, I was.
And then I got, those 4 days of community college in. So that was an important part of my extended...
I had random 5 years of college. It didn't make a fucking difference.
5.
So I should have dropped out in 6th grade and done cool shit, but I didn't.
Well, in my heart, you did.
Oh, thank you.
After leaving school, he managed to secure his first job with a neighbor as a mechanic's assistant. But following just 1 year of apprenticeship, Taylor struck out on his own and would remain self-employed thereafter, working as a welder and a mechanic repairing heavy machinery.
Not an easy job.
No.
There's a lot to that shit.
Taylor's list of accomplishments is extraordinary. At the age of 14, he built a single-cylinder automobile, which was promptly put on exhibit at the Duncan Forest Museum. And at 17, he rebuilt a bulldozer that more seasoned mechanics had long since given up for dead. These remarkable achievements would, in the long run, be just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. In 1969, while still in his early 20s, Taylor painstakingly plowed a trail through over half a mile of dense forest in order to get to the ramshackle remains of a locomotive that had been abandoned during the Great Depression and left to rot. What was left of the train was in a sorry state. Its trucks and drive shafts had been scavenged back in World War II, and a tangle of trees had grown up through its rusted frame. Taylor extricated the engine from the almost impenetrable undergrowth and managed to drag it back to his parents' residence, a site which had gained the affectionate title of Sleepy Hollow Museum due to the fact that the yard was riddled with old tractors, a bulldozer, and random train parts, most of which Taylor had discovered while exploring the Cowichan Valley scrub brush. In less than 2 years, with nothing more than his intellect, moxie, and a set of tools at his disposal, Taylor managed to restore the locomotive to its former glory. In 1973, the province of British Columbia purchased the steam engine and sent it on a tour with the museum train before putting it on display at the BC Forest Discovery Center. So he's just building shit and selling shit. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, just the fact that he did that to that train where he like restored it from rot.
And we've all seen like shitbag rust-covered
Yeah.
mechanics in the woods.
Yeah.
We have lots of woods, and we have old munitions factories, like our own little TNT areas around here. And you just see things. And as a kid, I would play on them and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get tetanus." Woo.
But I mean,
but I would not fucking think like
No,
there's
right,
anything I can
right.
do with this.
Lockjaw time.
Yeah, let's play lockjaw.
But actually taking something like that from such disrepair and putting it back to working order is pretty fucking astounding.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
like
pretty,
the steps
that's crazy.
are
Yeah.
incredible, and the patient and the skill.
Yeah.
It wasn't long before the introspective Taylor transformed from a small and awkward boy into a 6'3", 240-pound bear of a man who his friends took to calling Gentle Ben.
Oh,
Okay.
Although his body changed, Taylor's mind remained focused on its first passion, understanding the nature of motion technology, and his next obsession would be for machines that were capable of flight.
Oh, he's going to fucking helicopters?
Not quite.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say it.
The captor.
Ornithopters.
An ornithopter.
The
Here we
best.
come.
Could be
To
one.
that end, Taylor got his pilot's license and bought a vintage Kitty Hawk warplane, which he, of course, restored himself. Following their son's abrupt disappearance, Taylor's parents, Jim and Grace, sold the aircraft in 1981 for $20,000. Confident in their son's eventual return, they put the money into Taylor's bank account, with the other $10,000 he had left untouched before his inexplicable departure. So I just mentioned that by way of saying it's just another valuable thing that he created, and the people that loved him were absolutely convinced that this would be a temporary state.
And his parents were like, hoo-hoo, he's gone, let's buy some shit. They were like, no, we're going to
Nope.
sell this, keep the money for him, he'll be back. He's out in time and space traveling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
42-month interstellar voyage
So specific.
Yeah, 42 months.
into the beyond.
Yeah, shit. It's a long time.
While planes, trains, and automobiles, movies,
Nice.
enthralled Taylor when he was young, it wasn't long before he was able to understand their functions and become a master of their assembly. It was then that he evidently became bored. Seeking something new to test his vast intellect and mechanical prowess, the now respected craftsman turned his attention to a new and, for many, incomprehensible challenge. The seemingly unsolvable question of how UFOs could perform the aerial feats that so many witnesses have claimed to have seen, and, even more importantly, what it was that powered these vehicles on their ostensibly interstellar journeys.
Oh, nice.
To this end, Taylor built himself a retro-futuristic sanctuary beneath a grove of lofty fir trees not far from the house he shared with his parents on the marshes of Somenos Lake, a place which would come to be known as Granger's Flying Saucer. Now we're getting into the replica he drove past. According to his stepfather, during the latter portion of the 1970s, Taylor, using his colossal industrial acumen, spent over half a year constructing and welding a life-sized replica of a flying saucer out of spare parts he'd found. In his 1985 book, In Advance of the Landing, Folk Concepts of Outer Space, Douglas Curran described the fantastic domicile. Taylor built his spaceship out of 2 satellite receiving dishes and outfitted it with a television, a couch, and a wood-burning stove. He became obsessed with finding out how flying saucers were powered, spending hours sitting in the ship, thinking and often sleeping there.
It's the coolest clubhouse ever.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Like I need to have one of these.
The photos online are
We're
so
gonna.
awesome.
Are we going to Patreon money? We're going to do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's build it.
That'll be our studio.
Yeah.
Our new studio.
I'm not that good with building shit, though. I'm actually really terrible.
Well, you're the only one.
Yeah,
Fuck,
no,
okay.
really. Yeah, we're going to rely on you.
Okay, shit. We'll figure it out. My friend from work, Kevin, he can help us.
See, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. We'll call
You
Kevin.
put up a slanted pool.
Listen.
Listen.
Oh, the Winchester pool. Come to Mark's backyard. It's haunted.
Water that goes nowhere. I don't even know what that fucking means. But
I didn't have a transit. I couldn't level it. I had to do it by hand with a board. It was a thing. It worked. That pool is gone. Do you know that?
I've been there
It
since.
only lasted a summer?
2 summers.
Oh, man.
I'm getting a real pool. I can't fuck with that thing anymore.
Good for you.
It literally was the bane of my existence. I would measure it every year to see how off it kept getting.
Oh, my God.
It did not settle well.
Oh, that's so
Anyway.
not like you to obsess over something.
Yeah, I don't obsess. How dare you?
A
I didn't edit
ridiculous
our
thought.
last podcast for 9.5 hours.
Yeah, jeez. Oh, my God. I know.
You
This
got it
is
done
why
so
I do the
quick.
pods.
I know. I was like, oh, you did such a good job. You were so fast. And then he stays like, hey, have you heard it yet? I took out another third of a sentence, and I want to see what it's like.
I'm
I'm like,
like twitching. I can feel the twitching over the phone.
Listen, the Chronovisor is a fine episode. It came out excellent. Robert, where are we?
in an article published in the March 18th, 1985 edition of the Times Colonist titled, Is Vanished Son Adrift in Space? Journalist Derek Sidenius described the then decrepit state of the once cherished haven. The silver spaceship sits on metal pillars under the trees at Jim and Grace Taylor's farm near Duncan. Its aluminum plate ramp door is ajar and broken, the Taylors suspect from children playing. But inside, the large old sofa, pot-bellied stove, and plywood sleeping ledge are much the way their son, Granger, left them.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Plywood sleeping ledge.
Yeah, I know. Unless it's covered on
Maybe what
with
the
like
fuck?
Like a loft
4,000
or
pillows,
something?
that
Yeah.
would be unbearable to sleep on.
It
What the
just
fuck are you
sounds like
thinking?
what a total
cot? What about a cot?
a waterbed.
Well, yeah,
It's,
waterbed?
it's space.
it's the 70s.
It's space, man. You got a couch and a wood burning stove and a waterbed. Get the water nice and hot.
Oh my God. The furnished saucer swiftly became Taylor's home away from home, and once he got settled into his new refuge, he embarked on what would be his first meticulous stages of research and development regarding UFOs and their capabilities. As he had no access to the quote-unquote real thing, Taylor began his research into the UFO phenomenon by collecting all of the books that he could get his hands on, which was an easy enough task in the 1970s.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
everywhere you look. He then entrenched himself inside his welded steel shelter and began the arduous task of trying to understand the machinations of UFOs based solely on eyewitness accounts of and pseudoscientific hypotheses that the authors of these books put forward regarding the unusual craft. In fact, years after their son's disappearance, the Taylors still held onto a box overflowing with their son's books on the subject of UFOs and unknown energy sources, such as Frank Edwards' Flying Saucers Here and Now, From Outer Space, Black Holes, and What We Really Know About Flying Saucers. I own most of those.
Okay.
Eh,
I was what we really know.
what we not the bullshit.
I feel like I'll be the judge of that.
Oh. Critiqued by Chris Carnicelli on Amazon.
Oh my
1-star review.
Dissertation on what we really know about flying saucers.
Furthermore and henceforth.
I feel like this is crap. Period. That's it. That's a
That's it.
pamphlet.
Period.
Yeah.
A
Sigh.
scholarly text. It wasn't long before Taylor's new hobby transformed into a full-fledged obsession. When he went out socially, the topic of how spaceships were powered was never far from Gentle Ben's mind, and his friends conceded that he never hesitated to bring the subject up. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but about UFOs.
But at least it's aliens.
Yeah, I mean, we have friends that do stuff like. Do we? No, we don't. No, we do.
We've all had friends that won't leave a subject alone.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep needling it.
But I mean, if it's just UFOs, like in Gentle Ben's being cool,
Gentle
are
Ben.
we the friends that are that?
I think we are. Oh,
At
shit,
least
we
Mark-
are.
No.
Chris is not. Of
Chris
course
is.
Chris isn't.
I am.
You know, none of us do that.
Well, not with each other, because we do that as a show.
It never gets to the point where it's like super awkward. Like, oh yeah, no, I've had the salsa here. It's great. You know, salsa bowls can be domes, and domes are what are often found at the top of UFOs. And okay, fucking all right, Granger.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. We got it, buddy.
I just skip it all and go over to Jacques Vallée real quick.
Always.
I'm like, so do you want to be interdimensional and
So you
talk about
understand
weird
it's all
shit?
about pixies.
Yeah, do you get it? Do you get
Exactly.
it? Sweet.
Occasionally, we try to push Cunha Arkin on people.
Yeah,
But
that's different.
We don't try to squeeze it into every conversation
No, that's
anytime
true.
we're within public.
That's
we're
true.
talking.
That's true.
Like, I looked over a cheeseburger, a Coke, and hey, did you guys watch Death Warrior?
Do you know Cunha Arkin?
It's fucking dope. You don't understand.
Oh, the best.
Do
He
you
is a
understand the Flatwoods Monster? Let me give you a little talk.
Taylor's buddy, Robert Keller, who was 15 years old in 1980, claimed that Taylor had taken him under his wing, as he had so many others, and taught him about the intricacies of machines, claiming that his older friend was a genius bordering on insanity.
Yeah.
Which is a great and mixed bag compliment.
Yeah.
Keller also claimed that one of his favorite pastimes was smoking pot and discussing the possibility of alien life.
This is why I want to hang out
Okay,
with
well,
these
that
dudes.
seems not crazy.
No,
Yeah, it's something you do.
no, you're getting high.
Smoke some pot and be
you're
like, dude,
interested in
aliens.
Dude,
Listen, I built a fucking spaceship.
dude, that's what I'm saying. If I was to hang out with this guy and just get ripped and hang out in his...
So you learn how to rebuild a train engine.
yeah.
You get high as fuck and you start talking about Palladians or whatever.
Yeah. Serpo,
Yes.
dude. You're like, Serpo. I'm like, dude.
Plywood sleeping ledge.
Oh, Flatwoods.
Now, granted, I'm putting historical perspective because things were different in the 78 to 80 range when they were hanging out. But
Sure.
a 15-year-old and a 32-year-old. I mean, I'm not saying you can't have younger buddies or older buddies. And
I don't
I'm not
know,
saying
I
there was
mean-
anything untoward. I'm just saying, you know what? That's Rob's parents' problem. That's not Granger's problem.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
That's
are
not our
older. and I
problem.
hang out. I hang out with you, and you guys are older.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
well, it's
you
not 15 to 32.
No.
I just feel like we should have been hanging out. Like when you guys were like 20 and I was like however old.
A weens.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're 12. See,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened.
It should have though.
But it wouldn't
It
have.
would have been cool.
No.
You guys just didn't know how cool I was.
Yeah, because you were 12.
Just saying, whatever. Chris would have done it.
No.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't know, man.
When Chris was in a punk rock band, and I was just some nerdy little fat kid in the front row, like, geez, I really like these
Oh,
guys.
you know what? I was about that age, too.
Yeah, I was a nerdy little punk rock kid in the front row watching you play. I was singing along and all the songs and shit. I was like, oh, hang out,
I
Chris.
could have known you earlier then. You just didn't come up to me.
I was scared.
Me, your hero.
I was scared.
ever know
I didn't know what to do. I'm like, they play the Misfits. I love them. And then I bought your tape.
Then I bought your tape.
And then you gave me a copy of it years later that I still have. It's cherished memory.
I'm so glad you guys actually became friends. This just
I have a
makes me
bunch
feel
of your
good.
I have a bunch of your like original art from back in the day too.
There it is.
That you gave me when we became friends.
There it is.
There it is. See,
Friendship.
friendship. Continue.
What is
about it.
happening? I know, where are we? All right.
Animals, aliens, and weed.
As happens with many gifted people, Taylor's fascination with this issue may have eventually waned as other subjects of interest cropped up. But it seems as if fate, or perhaps something slightly more tangible, though no less ethereal, had something else in mind. Taylor confided to his friend Bob Nielsen that during one of his periods of self-imposed isolation aboard his self-built saucer, he received what could only be referred to as a message from space. While lying on the makeshift cot in his metallic refuge, Taylor claimed to have come into telepathic contact with an extraterrestrial entity who hailed from beyond the Milky Way. For any scholars of ufological, particularly contactee lore, this method of contact is considered to be a common occurrence between human beings and so-called alien explorers. Nielsen would later describe to reporters what his friend had disclosed to him a mere month before he vanished, and this is what he said. He said it happened when he was in bed. He lay there and got mental communications with somebody from another galaxy. He couldn't see them. I said, they can't just be mental. Does he know how telepathy works?
Maybe not.
But he said it was like they were just talking to him and to his mind. He was just asking questions about the means for powering their crafts. The only thing they would tell him was it was magnetic.
That
Always
makes
comes back
sense.
to magnets.
Yeah, God damn it. The Insane Clown Posse called it.
Indeed. A few days following this first, admittedly bizarre revelation, an elated Taylor informed Nielsen that the disembodied voice had once again visited him in his saucer, and this time the alien being invited him to go on a, quote, trip through the solar system. So that's how it's, that's how it's beginning.
This is how they get you.
Taylor excitedly explained that he would not be informed until the end of the month as to where he would be picked up, but when the location of the rendezvous was revealed to Taylor, he evidently chose or was perhaps instructed not to divulge this to his parents or friends, though he was specifically told, and this is interesting because this is like a month in advance, that there would be a storm because that is how they would cover their arrival.
Oh.
So it's interesting that part was predicted
That's strange.
weeks, if not a month early.
Oh, weird.
Despite the fact that his friends had no idea when or where his alleged date with Destiny would take place, Taylor made no pretense at concealing his exhilaration about the coming journey and all that he was going to learn about the aliens' technology. According to Nielsen, Taylor was, quote, thrilled by the prospect of his approaching interplanetary odyssey. Taylor's friends, most of whom suspected that this was an overreaction to a weird nightmare and just another manifestation of Taylor's eccentricity, humored him. According to Nielsen, everyone thought the trip was just a dream, but nobody entirely discounted Granger's stories. He was such an unusual sort of guy. Here's a key part. That having been said, Taylor's sister, Grace Ann Young, admitted in a 2016 interview with Vice that her brother had been, and I quote, taking acid a few times a day during the last few months.
Oh no!
All right, now let's not throw out the baby with the LSD.
Don't give the baby LSD.
The baby is gone with the LSD.
I'm not sure how much collectively we have all experimented with LSD.
I don't like psychedelics like that.
LSD is a little harsh.
It is.
I prefer like mushrooms. That's it's a little bit easier to deal with. But the experimentation in my younger days with the LSD was not a fun time. It wasn't terrible, but it was like, I'd like to go have this be over and play Mortal Kombat. I'm an SNES, but I can't because I'm talking to my fucking door. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I never had good times.
Chris probably made a pretty solid decision because, you know, just speaking for myself as someone that's basically been going through a decades-long existential crisis, when you're too self-reflective, double self-aware, and already unsure about the quantum nature and existence of reality, even long before it was a simulation theory, maybe that's not the one you want to take.
Yeah.
Maybe bourbon and Percocet's more your speed.
That's the deal.
A coffee cup told me a lot about Eddie Vedder. It was a weird time.
Well, Eddie was a weird dude back then. And
but
Coffee
it
Cup
also
had a lot of knowledge.
It also wasn't necessarily like super. It was very elastic. It wasn't like something that was definitely 100% there. It was just a weird trip.
Right.
So, but it's elastic as in like it wasn't. I remember it being not reality. I could definitely differentiate.
Oh yeah.
That my mind was just wandering and I was tripping, and it wasn't like I did a shitload of acid because I'm not brave enough. But
sure,
just a microdose enough to be like, yeah, so Eddie Vedder's cool. And I had like a Pearl Jam comic, and I thought it was like telling me a story about Eddie Vedder, which it was.
In conjunction with the coffee cup
yes,
that was narrated?
It was
oh
a
my
whole
God,
thing.
all right.
I
well,
wasn't proud
see,
of it.
that's...
And then other times, I don't enjoy acid. I'm not mentally prepared for it. Anyway, mushrooms are good, Robert.
Okay. So here we're going to have what might be sort of the flip side of that same indictment about all the acid he's taking. The article also included a letter written by Granger's cousin, Jacqueline Sandiford, which was addressed to his mother, Grace, attesting to, friends of Granger, this is what she said Granger did quite a bit of acid through the summer, but had no bad trips and did not experience any ill effects. They said he frequently spoke about going into outer space and of being in some kind of mental contact with an alien. They said he was so matter-of-fact about it that they were, too. Oh, so I guess they were matter of fact about it as well.
All right.
He told them he would be leaving soon, a day or two before he did. They all seemed to accept that Granger has done what he said he was going to do. He had a reputation for being honest, and after checking it all out, I think so too. So
That's acid head talk.
Jacqueline,
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, come on.
but Jacqueline wasn't necessarily
Come on
dosing
now.
with
I don't
him.
know. I think that's
She's
definitely.
she's reporting on
It's
what
like, man,
his
dude,
dosed out friends were saying.
things.
Yeah. He
Did
never
he-
had bad trips.
Dude things. Like,
Okay.
come on.
I'm just saying.
Dude things.
I mean, good bro things, dude. He did it, bro.
All right, listen. We all know sometimes you trip and see a demon, and all your friends try to tell you it was the trip, and your friend
yeah.
is positive it's a demon.
Yep.
And you sometimes just got to respect your friends.
Sometimes it is. You don't know from
No
that
one here-
reality.
no one
from
here.
That, from
No,
that
don't-
reality. It
Don't
was
let
a
anyone
demon.
listen and read into it, but we
All
all
right.
know.
It was a
Okay.
demon.
All right.
And a lot of times you took a lot of acid, you saw a demon.
You know.
but no, I still believe my friend.
I do too. It was a demon. So I mean, whatever. She's backing him up. She's like, he had a good time. It was cool. He's gonna do what he did. He did what he was gonna do. You do you. I'm gonna do me. There you go. It's cool.
Nevertheless.
Indeed.
Times colonist reporter Derek Sidenius, who we mentioned earlier, reported that just a week before Taylor's enigmatic exodus, he took a bunch of his buddies out for a raucous night on the town for what was intended to be a, quote, sort of going away party.
Real quick, I just want to say, enigmatic exodus could possibly be a new shirt. It might be a new shirt.
Yeah. I don't even physically, I can't even picture that.
An enigmatic
Yeah.
exodus. I mean, it's
like-
the shirt's gonna be cool.
Well, he did leave, and it was mysterious.
it was. It was an
go.
enigmatic exodus.
I pictured more biblically, like
Oh, could you imagine?
the enigmatic exodus.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, where you guys
Did-
going? I don't fucking know.
Did the Jews leave
Where are you
Egypt?
going? I don't
got
fucking
no
What's
know.
going
idea.
on? Are they hiding?
gonna-
Are they hiding behind the pyramid?
What are you guys actually doing? I don't know.
It's enigmatic and it's an exodus. God damn it. Didn't you read the title of what we're doing? The enigmatic exodus? Clearly.
Oh, my God.
We have no clue.
On Friday, November 28th, the evening before what would be considered by many to be Taylor's last night on Earth, one way or another, the young man entered his stepfather Jim's bedroom and had a long discussion with him. When he was young, Taylor's father had drowned in a tragic accident on Horn Lake.
Oh.
But since he was a boy, his stepfather had raised him as if he were his own. Taylor expressed his affection and gratitude for all the man had done for him over the years. Jim had no idea that this would be the last conversation he would ever have with his stepson.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Taylor's mother, Grace, was not on hand to speak with him as she was in Hawaii taking the first vacation she'd had in years. Tragically, she would forever regret not being home to see her beloved son one last time. Without the knowledge of his parents or friends, Taylor prepared 2 wills with detailed instructions as to how his parents should distribute his possessions. Interestingly, the word deceased was scratched out on the wills, only to be replaced by the word departed. An odd touch. There's a lot of odd touches here.
Well,
Yeah,
that's weird.
weird.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Listen, we all have a feeling, and I know we're going to break it down soon, that this is a very prosaic tragedy
Yeah.
that has some
That's what it's
weird
playing out
accoutrement.
as.
But
Yeah.
there's all these little tiny things that just sort of needle you in there, like, but why go to that extra? All right, we'll save it for the
Yeah.
end.
Well, if you're that,
No, I know. But
all right.
We're getting there. At about 6 p.m. on that fateful Saturday eve that would change the lives of so many in the town of Duncan, Taylor entered Bob's Grill for dinner. His appearance raised no eyebrows as he had been a regular at the curbside diner for years. The last person to come forward and admit to seeing Taylor was a woman who was working in the grill's kitchen by the name of Linda Barron. Barron would later tell authorities that she had seen him enter and dine by himself, but was unable to recall if anyone had tried to engage Taylor in conversation. She did, however, remember that the solitary genius was clearly not dressed for the oncoming storm, and further testified that Taylor paid his bill and left the restaurant at about 6:30 p.m., just as the gale was starting to tear through Duncan and the neighboring cities. It would be the last that known human eyes would ever fall on the burly 32-year-old machinist. That same night, hurricane-force winds were reported in Port Alberni, and power lines were downed throughout Duncan and the surrounding area, swathing the entire region in impenetrable darkness. By dawn the next day, citizens of Duncan were picking up the debris left behind by the storm and were also picking up a rumor that was swiftly spreading through the town, that Granger Taylor had vanished off the face of the earth. Understandably concerned about his boy's situation and more than likely his mental state, Jim Taylor contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in order to help find his son. The RCMP responded immediately, but after what Corporal Mike Demchuk described as exhaustive checks of hospital, passport, employment, and vehicle records, not a single clue as to Taylor's whereabouts could be discovered. After Taylor had been gone more than 4 years, Demchuk admitted that what had perplexed him most regarding this mystifying case was the fact that the 72 Datsun pickup truck that Taylor had ostensibly used to travel to his engagement was still missing. He said, "One would expect the car at least to be found. You just don't get rid of something that large without someone knowing about it."
That's weird.
Knowing that it may well hold the key to his disappearance, the Taylors would, throughout the 1980s, occasionally take out newspaper ads offering a $100 reward for anyone finding their son's missing vehicle. They never received any responses, but the truck's registration expired in 1981, convincing many RCMP investigators that it was likely no longer on the road. Now, here's where things get a little more solid. 6 years after Taylor's disappearance, there seemed to be a break in the case when, in March of 1986, forestry workers found a blast crater near Mount Prevost, which is not far from the Taylor's home. The Montreal Gazette reported that human bone fragments were found at the scene, adding, "Until further evidence is found, the RCMP is assuming they are Taylor's." Remains, that is. The article also states Taylor had taken a load of dynamite with him in his truck, which Keller, his buddy Robert Keller, the former 15-year-old, claimed he used for the purpose of blasting tree stumps in order to dislodge the mechanical treasures he found in the woods, like the old train, the random airplanes, or whatever the fuck else.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, unconventional, but I mean, I guess it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you got a truck full of dynamite in your Pepto-Bismol truck, I mean.
Yep. The old Pepto Roadster.
Yeah,
the fucking bed full of dynamite.
It's a bed. Yeah. I feel like Chris had one of these vehicles at one point.
No, I just had a Dodge Shadow that almost made me die every time I got in it.
I remember the
story. What do you expect?
It's a shadow. It's a shadow.
It's always going to be.
It was dope for 2 weeks, and then it would idle at 30.
Oh God!
That's the story.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Stop at a stop sign at 30, and then let it go, and it would just fucking jet forward.
Oh,
yeah,
it's amazing. All right, so he's in a truck full of dynamite. Not a good scene. So,
the RCMP's official coroner's inquest claimed that, due to circumstantial evidence found at the blast site, Taylor had been killed. So circumstantial, but still.
Okay.
Concluding that Taylor had been carrying dynamite in his truck, and at some point, whether on purpose or by accident, it went off. What a weird, fucking horrible way to kill yourself.
But it is dynamite. It's not like the most stable shit.
And it is a terrible hurricane-like electrical storm.
Yeah.
So it could still have been an accident.
I mean, if for some weird reason he got hit by lightning
while driving up to meet the aliens, what a horrible, ironic
the irony. He fucking blew up, and they're like, "Shit, where is he?"
Like they're coming down, he explodes. They're like,
"Yeah, but I thought
the aliens.
I thought cars were basically grounded."
Not from dynamite.
Not from dynamite, yeah.
Like if the lightning just hit the fucking dynamite,
it has to hit the dynamite, though.
That's exactly the irony of it.
So it just it didn't hit the car, went right through the.
Well, it's a pickup truck.
It's a truck, so the dynamite
just hit the open.
It's in the bed, yeah. I know. I don't like it either.
Still,
I really don't like it because
it is a bitter irony, if indeed
it's sad.
That's how it went down. Yeah,
okay,
that's how it went down.
Okay.
Keller again, Bobby Keller.
All right,
pop buddy,
the old Bobby.
Alien buddy,
good old Bob,
apprentice to the master.
Good old Rob Bob
took umbrage with this assessment and emphasized that his friend respected and understood the explosives' uses and dangers inside and out, claiming he was too smart to have an accident up on that mountain. There's no way. He knew how to handle explosives. He was basically an expert. So when it came to safety, that was his number one priority. It doesn't work with me. He wouldn't have had an accident, and he wouldn't have done it on purpose. Dedicated friend. I got to give him that point.
See,
yeah.
Dynamite was in fucking shotgun. If
Okay.
you're that smart, would you leave fucking dynamite out in the open during a storm?
No, but maybe, have it like in a crate or a container or something in the
Well,
back.
I don't know how much a crate is lightning proof. I mean, generally speaking.
Is this wood lightning proof?
Yeah, is this tarp, solid
Yeah,
for,
I mean-
electrical storms?
I'm assuming he wouldn't keep it in the cab though, because safety. You wouldn't keep a gas can in the cab with you. You'd put it in the back. If he was Mr. Safety.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
So I don't know. Maybe.
I don't even know if a gas can was involved, but
No, I'm just saying the idea that if you are going to be handling dynamite safely, you'd keep it like in the back of the cab.
During a storm that you know was coming?
Oh, like he knew the storm was coming, so he took the container of the dynamite and then put it into the front seat with him.
for the record, though,
Oh.
at no point is Granger Taylor been referred to as "quote unquote" Mr. Safety.
That was my own.
He's Mr. Dose to the gills.
No, definitely dose,
And brilliant, but not necessarily
right,
safe.
but
Right.
also known as a prodigy. So
Yes.
you could.
All right, maybe.
And according to Keller, super duper cautious when it came
Man,
to
that's a
dynamite.
head full of acid and a truck full of dynamite.
Wow.
There's no good coming from that.
Yep.
No good. No
Nope.
good. Nothing. All right. Okay, well, what else do we got here? Maybe we'll find a bright spot here.
Keller also questioned the veracity of the RCMP's evidence, declaring the police said it was a blue truck, but his truck was Pepto-Bismol pink. I helped him paint it with my buddy Darren. Adding,
Darren.
yeah, when Darren's involved, that's all I
I
need.
clearly painted with Darren.
We all have a buddy Darren who shows up to
To help
help,
you
and you're
paint
like,
your
hey,
fucking
it's fucking
truck."
Darren. What's up, buddy?
What they found on the mountain was not Granger's truck. They actually have no idea if it was Granger's bones or not.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right. There is, of course, no way to come to any definitive conclusion regarding the fate of Granger Taylor. Did he, for reasons we can only speculate, decide to take his own life? If so, then why would he dedicate his final weeks to perpetuating a bizarre, and for his parents at least, unnecessarily cruel hoax? Unless it was intended to leave those he left behind perplexed and maybe just a little bit comforted by the fact that he was flitting around the cosmos with actual extraterrestrials. Did Taylor decide that he wanted to fake his own death to get away from it all and start over in a new place? If that was so, then why not just move? In 1980, $10,000 in the bank would not be a bad way to begin a new chapter in life, and surely he could have found a job anywhere he decided to go as a mechanic.
Yeah, totally.
What would have prevented him from picking up his roots and transplanting them elsewhere without fabricating such an unnecessarily elaborate ruse? Even if he honestly felt his only way out was to fake his own death, then why would he leave all his money behind and concoct such a peculiar story about a telepathic alien and a 42-month intergalactic journey? It's almost certain that this odd tale, if it was nothing but a made-up story, would only serve to humiliate his beloved parents and their small community. It doesn't really add up. Is it possible that Taylor simply lost his grip on reality while ensconced in his handcrafted saucer? Was it the drug abuse, or was he suffering from an undiagnosed mental illness that manifested itself in the form of a telepathic ET? And diabetes.
Oh, don't forget the diabetes.
Yeah, clearly.
Maybe he destroyed his truck and slipped into the forest on that stormy black night, fully expecting his alien tour guide to arrive, only to succumb to the brutal elements while waiting in vain for the celestial lights to shine down on him. There are lots of remote areas on Vancouver Island, and Taylor's bones might be just one errant hiker away from being exposed. Of course, the other possibility is that he was simply picked up by a UFO. While it's easy to surmise that Granger Taylor was either suffering from some sort of mental breakdown or merely trying to escape his life, there is a chance that he was of sound mind and had a very peculiar experience, one which he decided to embrace rather than run away from. Is it just remotely possible that Taylor actually did have a run-in with a benevolent alien that took a shine to his natural curiosity and invited the human to join him on a voyage to the stars, the likes of which perhaps has been enjoyed only by Steven Spielberg's Close Encounter of the Third Kind alter ego, Roy Neary? Dr. Max Edwards, a linguist and former professor at the University of Victoria, believed that this was the case, as did Duncan resident and publisher John McGore, who said, "There have been reported cases of aliens taking humans on rides in saucers in other parts of the world. Why not here then?" Whatever happened to Granger Taylor during that horrific tempest back in the autumn of 1980 remains a mystery to this day. But there can be no doubt that this event was a tragedy for those who loved Granger Taylor, particularly his mother, who never got to say goodbye. For years, the Taylors left their son's bedroom untouched, and the plaques and trophies he had accrued over the years were never removed from the cupboard door. The only thing we know for a fact is that on the evening of November 29th, 1980, Mr. Taylor vanished, seemingly without a trace. On May 29th, 1984, Granger Taylor's 42-month expedition was supposed to come to an end, and his parents, who had kept the back door unlocked for nearly 4 years, were eagerly awaiting their son's promised return. It never happened. In the final analysis, the case of Granger Taylor is an intriguing mystery from the backwaters of ufology, but perhaps the whole muddled story can be best summed up in the words of Jim Taylor, his stepfather. "I can hardly believe Granger's gone off in a spaceship, but if there is a flying object out there, he's the one to find it. Let's hope he did just that, and that somewhere out in the inky blackness, an earthling by the name of Taylor Granger is having the experience of a lifetime soaring amongst the stars, even if he is a little late getting home." So,
wow, man. Ending it on the heavy note.
well, it's a heavy story.
It is. Shit.
Listen,
all right.
they all can't be rollicking good times.
Well, so obviously we will begin with the skeptical side of this, as the RCMP does claim to have evidence, but it has been refuted by his friend.
And circumstantial,
And
they
circumstantial, yes. So the color of the truck definitely is a dead giveaway.
You would
If
think.
his Pepto-Bismol truck, even if the underpaint was blue, like, are you going to blow off all the pink paint and then there's blue paint left?
I don't know how dynamite and like
Yeah,
a Darren
I mean-
caliber paint job go together. Like there is a chance that they found it like a fender.
That's
and
what I'm
maybe,
saying.
Like,
Like,
the
you
outer
can't-
layer got scorched off and it was back to baby
Right.
blue dots in.
You-
If
right.
it was an original blue that was painted pink, but you'd prime it because pink wouldn't go over blue like
You
that.
don't know how Darren does. He's high as a kite
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
ET.
Darren
just
Darren
assuming
doesn't
shit.
fucking prime shit.
Dude.
Darren fucking paints.
He's got a head full of acid, a pack of Marbs, and a 12er of fucking Moosehead beer.
Yeah, I feel like this
Not
guy
Moosehead,
doesn't give
what
a
the fuck's
fuck
it
about
called? I think it's
primer.
Moosehead beer, yeah.
He's just painting that shit.
Exactly.
Like, just paint right
He's got
over
wild turkey, a head of acid, and a bunch of Marbs.
there you go.
He's fucking ripping them and doing
all
it.
rolled up in his
All
shirt
rolled,
sleeve.
Yeah, including the bottle and the acid all in his shirt sleeve. It's all there. Okay, so there is evidence, yes. The bone fragments, all that stuff is there, which does really sound like, unfortunately, that he was going to see the aliens, and for some reason there was a dynamite malfunction, and it went off. And he sadly...
Dynamite malfunction.
Yeah, I guess we call that a malfunction,
Yeah.
right?
So when
A catastrophe of sorts.
Oh, it's definitely a fucking catastrophe.
Yeah.
Like, assuming it blew up, whether it was done intentionally, which is a terrifying thought. Like, I mean, wanting to take your own life is so sad.
I feel
and
like
horrible,
not.
But to blow yourself up would just be
What do you mean?
bad scene.
I feel like
like-
he didn't intentionally go out there to blow himself up.
Oh no! I thought you meant like it wasn't like a big
Yeah, you
deal.
thought, Mark. That's a problem.
Chris gets these
It's a
new
fucking problem.
He gets these new glasses, looking handsome as a devil over
Tell me
there.
what
He
to
has a
do.
new attitude.
He is
He's got a little-
diabolically
He has a
handsome.
little.
Really,
pep in-
this is new?
He has a pep in his step, a little bit.
so.
We haven't seen him in 3
I
weeks.
don't-
That's why.
That's true.
I don't think that he went out intentionally for this to happen. I feel like it seems like he really thought this was fucking legit.
I think
and something happened. Whether he fucking blew the fuck up or he went away. And
like what you're saying.
So he blew the fuck up. He made it to the UFO, or he lost his fucking mind. And this is like K-Pax meets Seven. Like this is like weird, right? It's
dude,
like
it's
weird.
all got Kevin Spacey in it too. He's a problematic dude.
Yes, but let's just take the
Let's not go there.
He's not a great dude. Yeah, he's terrible.
I didn't say he was, Mark.
No, I'm just saying he's terrible.
Creeper bitch.
All right, so what Chris is saying, yes, I do not believe he intentionally blew himself up. I do believe that if he was blown up, it was not of his own accord. It was just an accident. Which really sucks that you're going there and there's a catastrophic malfunction of dynamite and then you're just a fucking blast crater.
That would absolutely
how much
suck.
Dynamite? If he has a box of dynamite
or a stick, I mean, it doesn't take
we
much
all
to blow
know what
up
a
truck full of gasoline.
A quarter stick does,
right?
Or a half a stick is devastating.
Sure.
So if you're talking about an entire box, what the fuck would even be left?
We don't know if it was an entire box, by the way.
Yeah, we don't know how much. But then, like, where's the rest of the car? Where's all the car?
All they found was
Well, they found a blast crater, bone fragments,
and pieces of car.
Right, hunks of a Datsun.
Right. How much?
I don't know.
Yeah, how much would even be
what
left?
I'm saying. Like,
so when I first wrote this article, I don't even remember, like probably a decade ago. Not a lot was out there. More has come to light. One of the things I didn't know when I first wrote this article was that he had an acknowledged drug usage pattern. Like, as far as I knew, there was nothing
it's just
like
acid,
that.
though. He's not,
It's
know.
just acid.
Acid.
Listen,
famous last words.
Exactly.
He wasn't smoking crack. Like,
Also,
it wasn't a huge deal.
That
you're not a huge deal.
You know, he definitely was prone to mood swings, and you would assume, yes, of course, you're not a huge deal. Okay, establish that. But you're a huge deal to me.
Wow.
Okay.
Just barbs of hatred over here from this handsome bastard. Wow.
You know, on one hand, he's a dude we'd probably all be buddies with because A, he'd fix our fucking cars, which would be wicked.
He seems like a genius.
You know, you get high as a kite and you talk UFOs, always fun. Hanging out in his UFO.
Yeah,
I mean, his potbelly stove. So there's a lot of cool shit there, but also when you're, you know, living on your, you know, self-built UFO and you got a limited education and there was bullying issues when he was growing up, as you'd expect, someone that gets husky and tall early, doesn't have a great deal of formal education. People in the small town are ragging him. He's well respected by, you know, say, local, you know, mechanics and stuff, and maybe even other people that are his friends, and he definitely had a circle of friends. But another thing that came out, like, is his like half sisters going, maybe we should have invited him out more, maybe he was getting depressed. Like, he could be sitting in that UFO, and on one hand we could exalt him for like trying to unravel the mysteries of the universe like a self-made Oppenheimer, but instead of blowing up half the world, he's trying to like figure out how to use magnets to defeat gravity. But and maybe that's part of what he's doing. Maybe part of it is like lonely and crying.
Yeah.
There's the other side to that. Sure.
If you're just stuck in your head inside your spacecraft, and you're just kind of getting in your head too much, and then you're just going down rabbit holes, and you're fucking tripping on acid and shit. I mean, it's not gonna really be a good time, unless maybe that was his jam because he was an eccentric dude, and he's like some interdimensional fucking space wizard.
That's a possibility.
But I think all of us could agree that as we all would experience this, it would just be a depressive fucking nightmare that would suck.
And so here's why I say this, because I happen to agree with the assessment you both made in that I don't think it's suicide, but I don't necessarily think it's because he was like super chipper and so wholly dedicated to motion mechanics that he wouldn't have thought of it, because the way it went down seems like not the way a dude that really loves his family takes the time to have a heart-to-heart with his stepfather, which, by the way, you could say that's a way of saying goodbye and thank you. But on the other hand, you could also be like, why would you make up a trip to an alien world? Why would you blow yourself up in a way? Like, are you trying to like erase any hint of your existence so that you think it won't happen, but you're only going, you know, I don't know however many miles away from your house.
Right.
Sure.
And doing it. Like, the reason I don't think it was a suicide is because there's a lot of ways to do it that are, I guess, less perplexing and potentially damaging. Because
sure.
what you're also doing is giving your loved ones, the kids that sure, you got high with them, but you also trained them how to build things. And they, a lot of them gave testimonials like, he made me the man I am today. I would love to see him again, though I know I won't. Like, these people really looked up to him, and his parents who adored him and never got rid of a trophy and kept the door unlocked for 4 years. Why would you give them the hope that in 42 months, 3.5 years,
sure,
you're going to come home?
Yeah, that's exactly why
you gave a return time.
Yeah,
it wasn't a farewell. It was I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think. I think we all agree that we don't believe that it was suicide.
On the other hand, why would you fucking write a will saying I won't need any of the shit? If you're going to be back in 3.5 years, you're going to need your shit. Like, if I'm gone for 4 years,
man, if you come back,
want my shit there when I get back.
But if you come back and you've got cosmic powers,
well, no one said that. I mean, if he's like part of the Nova Squad, or
thank you. I was seeing if you got the cosmic powers.
Who knows what he was
Yes.
thinking? What was going to happen when he was writing this? He might easily have thought, well, I'm gonna evolve. I'm gonna come back like a new thing. I'm not
new
gonna
level of life.
I'm not
man.
gonna need any of this shit. I'm not gonna need clothes.
Oh,
Look at my new space ass. Fucking deal with it.
God, I want one of those so bad.
Dude, I want an ass.
Space spine.
Full of stars.
Yeah,
I
I would like a new ass.
I would like a nice scaled down space ass. I've got a lot of space.
I would
ass.
like a
I got a lot of
Me
Earth
too.
ass.
I want
yeah.
a scaled up ass.
All right, let's all. All right, Patreon, we're going for ass upgrades. All of us.
Yeah, my Hank Hill ass is going to get an upgrade. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't seem like if it was going to be a suicide, it seems like it would be more of a definitive. I'm leaving. I'm going to the stars. See you guys later. Nah, I'm going to be back.
I'm going to start my life over in Minneapolis or something.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Take care of my shit. Like, if you don't want your whole family to think you died and to mourn you, and you just want to think, I'm going to make a better life in New Mexico, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And you fake take some of your shit and you just do whatever you're going to do.
Right.
But, all right, so, and here's the other.
So if he was a contact, let's say that he was a contactee.
Okay.
And he was getting, the aliens were speaking to him from Serpo or the Draco or whatever they are.
The Draco.
Wherever,
I don't know if they're reptilians, if they're mantis, if they're fucking Nordics or whatever, the tall whites. Then, all right, then and it is a thing with the contactees that apparently that you get summoned through telepathy.
Right.
That it's a whole psychological thing, which also goes back to like Vali and Keel as well, the UFOs of the mind, that they're not actually here with us, that they're just through your mind.
Okay, so where are we going with this?
Maybe he really was contacted and they came and picked him up because they're like, he's kind of a cool dude. I mean, he is this eccentric wizard of a fucking machinist.
Sure.
So, maybe he was picked up because... I mean, it just seems weird that
So wait a minute. So the blast crater, parts of a car, and bone fragments are sort of coincidental?
I was saying that could be a part of something else. That might not even be related
I mean, it's
to
possible.
him.
It's possible.
It possibly could be from something else, but that he actually did end up getting...
While he's in the beam
aliens.
getting sucked up, like... Some asshole that had dynamite too in a truck
that could totally
blew
be,
up while he was getting.
that
could have been me.
Up,
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, dude. I'm going to fucking
Sorry,
Serpo.
dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
No. I think maybe the blast crater could be something completely. If he was abducted, then he's obviously up there, but they just never brought him back after the 42 months. Maybe he was like, fuck it, I'm having fun.
So they lied.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, in all fairness, I mean, we're talking Earth years. Who knows what a year is or a month or whatever from their Alpha Centauri ass
perspective. You're right.
What movie did that happen
I would assume
in?
if you
Interstellar, yeah.
If you can, that's kind of a problem I had with that movie too. If you can contact somebody enough to communicate, you should be able to communicate that your concept of that is different.
Sure.
Like you conveniently always leave.
That's a weird oops.
But aliens are
shit.
Sorry, I meant 3 billion years.
Aliens are lying bastards. They're always lying. Always lying.
We don't know that.
Dude, read the
in the pop
research.
In the culture, it's always
and
like
contactee lore. Now, I'm not talking about gray abduction lore. That's its own fucking separate thing, and I'm not going to go off on a gray tangent now. But when you're talking about proper contactee lore,
right?
A lot of it's big rock bullshit. A lot of it's Adamski garbage. But some of it's interesting, and almost all of it is either, people blatantly lying, which is a big part of it, or trying to be profiteers. And the other part is people that seem to be genuinely getting... just talk to... You talk about Jockabilly. Talk to John Keel about that.
Oh, yeah,
like
totally.
people
Yeah.
getting lied to, played out. Like, oh no, we're best buddies. And here's the thing, and here's a great prostate massage, and I'm going to give you a hug, and here's a coupon for a burger, and it's great. But I'm lying, and I'm going to fucking tell you I'm going to do things that I'm not going to do.
9
and
for
fucking
10
I'll fuck you
Whoppers.
over.
Why 9 for 10?
9 for 10.
Why not just make it? Why not make it 10 for 10?
9 for 10 Whopper.
Just why is not 10 for 10? Fuck you! I make the rules.
You're literally, I think you just said you buy 10 Whoppers, you'd get 9.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Your haircut looks stupid. You have shit taste
I
in
did.
music, and your shoes look dumb.
And as far as the fucking truck goes, clearly he was picked up by lying aliens who are liar faces, but maybe not evil. Maybe he
Okay.
took him on a Cassie. And it's a bunch of teenage Sasquatch trying to fucking cage a butt. Didn't realize there was dynamite in the back. Accidentally blew up the truck that was just supposed to
Sasquatch.
be waiting there for him.
Okay.
It was goddamn punk teen Sasquatch.
It was shit. All right.
But that's
All
a
right.
separate thing.
I mean, I think if we were to say if he was taken by aliens, then he made it. I mean, he did. He
Let's all hope that that's what happened.
Yeah, I honestly, it's so sad
Because that's the
that I
best
really
thing.
hope that he's up there now, just like doing cool.
Yeah,
like,
well,
like he's going
doing wheelies in space.
yeah. Dude,
Wheelies.
He's taking all that technology from Lazar and he's just like fucking making it work.
Oh.
Like he's smart. He knows don't take a plasma cutter to one of those weird orbs because it'll blow you the fuck
It'll
up.
blow you the fuck up. He could be like that.
Lazar replaced the dude
bridge.
allegedly that did that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
who
he
blew
took
himself
a plasma
up.
cutter
Yeah.
and it turned
Fucking
himself into
idiot.
human stew on the wall.
So
maybe he's there, dude. Maybe he's fucking doing it.
Granger is doing what he was always doing on his own in the old Sleepy Hollow Museum, which is he's like a shop teacher in space. Maybe he's teaching the kids about Earth
Yeah.
tech so they can know about old timey stuff like steam technology and kitty hawks and whatnot. And so maybe he's like a weird shop history teacher. But like
It could be.
basking in the glories, because and here's another thing that really intrigues me. Like all the potential tragedy aside, he seemed to be, and of course he could have been fucking just high as a kite, but he seemed to be genuinely excited about being exposed to the new technology. That sounds like somebody.
Sure.
I mean, either here's the thing. He doesn't come off as like one of those great actors that's like painting this labyrinth of a story for all of his friends and everyone around him like, no, this is what we're going to, and the aliens are going to get me and I'm going to do this. And he keeps painting it thicker and thicker just so he can go kill himself somewhere and no one knows.
well,
he seems like
that's
basically
why-
a simple mechanical
yes.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
seems
why
like-
we
who's
all came
genuinely
to that
excited.
conclusion.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
believe that he believed it.
I believe he believed it too. And you
Yeah.
know what? Sometimes, I mean, I know they use some medical procedures. I don't know who or when, but like have used LSD to fight depression and other like psychological
It's
problems.
been used in clinical
PTSD.
trials, yeah.
And maybe in the same way that DMT is supposed to open you up to the fucking mechano-elves and weird things like this,
Right.
maybe his constant use of it, which is not a tacit endorsement, unlike meth, which we all support, especially Mark.
Fuck's sake.
But maybe this opened up his perceptions to be able to speak to these things that aren't necessarily extraterrestrial, though maybe they claimed they were just because it was something he could understand, but were interdimensional or multi-vibrational or who the fuck knows what.
I mean, I think
and they're like, yeah, come for the ride, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a common theme that psychedelics will open you up to higher consciousness. So maybe he just got himself open to the highest of consciousnesses, and he's at another fucking planet or another plane of existence. He really just could be.
Okay, well,
He just
why
maybe-
did he need to
just-
drive somewhere with dynamite to get there?
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
weird. Like,
no,
why
I
couldn't
know.
they just pick
I
him
know.
up and
I
hit
didn't want
UFO?
to. I didn't want to bring it up.
Why don't you
honestly.
come to my UFO?
Yeah.
Check it out.
I don't
bring it
miss
up.
stuff, man.
I know.
So-
I got a plywood bunk.
I mean, we all know that a head full,
Yeah,
a head full of acid and a truck full of dynamite is not a fucking good mixture, even
Yeah.
if you are Captain Safety. But you got a head full of acid, a heart full of love, and a mind full of UFOs. You could be going places.
Wow.
Maybe
Yeah.
he wasn't on acid when he was driving.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be. It could still,
You
Sister
don't
said
have
he
to
was
be.
doing it daily in the last few
Okay,
months.
maybe he had a. Could you imagine driving on acid?
Could you imagine doing acid daily for
No,
months?
my God, it never ends, dude. It never ends. Even a little bit is a long
Oh,
way.
no,
Yeah.
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's why I
Yeah,
don't-
no. If he was constantly tripping, then yeah, all the dynamite was in unopened completely exposed in the back of his
he was
fucking
smoking,
pickup.
He was lighting cigarettes off.
I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Where no, it's in a box.
Yeah.
It's in a box in a glove compartment in a box, safe,
Yeah.
and the shotgun in the cab. No, it's probably
Yeah.
spread out in the fucking bag. He probably spelled out, "I'm coming."
Just
Here I
rolled the dynamite
come.
everywhere. I'm almost here.
I hope there's pizza.
Yeah, are you excited? Here I come.
But I mean, regardless of this end, though, I mean, there's the option that it happened and he got taken.
Yeah.
It's still an option.
Totally.
So, I mean, you kind of got to take that the evidence of the last part of finding bones.
well, yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, it's still an option.
No,
It's still an option.
totally
If he
is.
disappears, you're like, well, that's still an option that
The RCMP is
he
not going to say
accomplished that.
aliens.
No, of course not.
Yeah, there's not.
But I have to mention two theories that have been bandied about. And I didn't go deep down these rabbit holes. I just wanted to present it and then have us interpret it. One is sort of along the lines where Mark was just at, and that is that he got conscripted or that's not even the right way because that's like a drafting. Like they got...
He just got chosen or
yeah,
whatever.
chosen, whatever, by Area 51, and that they set up this whole ruse
Oh, interesting.
so they could put him down there because he was
Interesting.
uncanny. Okay, whatever. Here's the one that's the king of stupid and absolutely the best.
Oh, I'm going to love it.
And this is why I have to share it. And that is, he was instructed by the aliens that for him to be able to board their ship and get closer to the UFO because they couldn't come too close to Earth, he had to explode his truck to go up in the air.
No,
where they would
no,
save
no,
him
no.
at the last second,
No.
bring him aboard the ship, and then the mission
So
would
he had to
continue.
he had
Nope,
to turn
I'm
himself
shut
into
off.
a rocket.
Because coming that extra 20 feet closer to the ground
Yeah,
was not an option.
I know.
He had
my
to
God.
rocketeer himself in the worst way possible.
It is not my theory. It
Okay.
is a theory.
They're like, bro, listen. I know this is gonna sound fucked up. You gotta blow yourself up. But listen, just do it. Do it in the back of the truck.
Oh,
You pop up a little bit.
Oh,
We're going to snag you.
You know what,
Yeah,
though?
yeah, don't worry though.
Think about this though, and follow me. You're gonna enjoy this. Like the aliens, how Travis Walton may have possibly accidentally been sucked into the engine, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, we gotta rebuild him because we just killed this poor fucking dude on accident."
Right.
If those aliens had that same technology, they were like, "Bro, blow yourself up, and we'll fucking catch you." He blows himself up into pieces. They catch him, rebuild him back together, and then he's still the intergalactic shot teacher with a head full of acid, a heart full of love, and a mind full of UFOs.
All right.
It works.
Conversely,
Mind
it
full
works.
of
They're on the
UFOs.
ship going, that fucking dumb fuck just did it.
All
He
right,
did
fine,
it.
fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, you are correct. It
Was
is.
his truck pink? Oh my fucking God, we had to kill him.
It is the fucking king of stupid ideas. Yes.
It was actual Pepto-Bismol on the truck.
It
It wasn't in paint. He
Yeah,
actually was like,
yeah.
nah.
I mean, you can always bring it one step
And
further
acid.
in that, Area 51 got him. He was conscripted. He worked with Lazar possibly on
Sure, why not?
projects. But then later on in his retirement years, he's like, you know what? I kind of want to settle down. But then a certain someone shows up with a job for him. That certain someone, Hillary Clinton. That job, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God,
Who
dude.
killed Epstein?
Why can't you
So-
take this serious,
Fuck
Mark?
just happened.
I'm just saying.
This is a man's life.
He could have killed Epstein.
We're trying to talk about this, and you're making jokes.
Now you making jokes.
So disappointed.
So mad at you right now.
So
All right.
mad.
The only thing that does concern me about this, that if he really was having some severe mental health issues, that unfortunately you got to keep that shit in check, and we all have our own fucking mental health checks that we do,
Oh,
and everyone should be
absolutely.
doing them. If for some reason he did just kind of get wrapped up in his own shit and go off the deep end, that's just sad.
It is.
Because he sounds like a really cool dude.
And here's really basically where I'm at, and that is, I'd like to think it wasn't intentional, just because I always want
No,
to be
yeah,
optimistic.
totally.
But this guy clearly was suffering. He clearly had some issues. His family, to this day, his parents clearly were heartbroken. Never locked the doors, the whole 9 yards, and died sad, not knowing his fate.
What a fucking
and
bummer, dude.
his siblings and half siblings and step siblings that survive beat themselves up to this day, saying, "I wish I had included him more," because they're assuming the most prosaic and
Right,
tragic
Yeah, sure.
outcome, which is suicide. And so, yeah, we can have fun with things like we always do. But in the end, yeah, it is a dick kicker. He seemed, like Mark just said, a good dude with tons of just raw potential.
Yeah, just talent upon talent upon talent.
But that doesn't necessarily equate to happiness.
No, I know. We all know that. A lot of talented people that we know, they just unfortunately are suffering from, some form of depression or, whatever,
Absolutely.
which we all deal with. And like I said, mental health checks. Do yourself a solid and do one. I had to do one. After my 2-week fucking quarantine, I was like, holy fucking shit, I need to go to GameStop and talk to my buddy Dan because I'm tired of staring at these fucking walls.
Oh, man.
That was your mental health check?
That was my
get
GameStop.
Dan,
That was my get
Dan,
the fuck out of the house and just talk to
I
somebody.
mean, yeah, if
absolutely.
that works, then yeah.
I mean, I wasn't having like a huge, we were talking about Black Ops and like Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops. It wasn't like a thing. I was just like, I'm getting in my own head because I've been in the house for too long.
No, he wasn't the counselor. And you're like, hey, Dan. Can we talk for a second?
First of all, I need a hug, a high five, and a handshake. Let's do some stage dives, and then we're going to share with you what I'm feeling. No, I just
Stage
I had
dives?
to talk to somebody because I was stuck in my house for 2 fucking weeks, and I couldn't leave. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, I want to believe in my heart of hearts that he went to some far off place and he's doing cool shit. I really do. Because if I think the other, I'm just going to be bummed out and depressed and feel bad.
I mean, I feel like regardless, he's in a far off place.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? There you go.
all agree
You know what? Chris nailed it. He's in a far off place regardless, no
And
matter
you know
what.
Like Mark said twice, and I love, if you've got a head full of acid, a heart full of love, and a mind full of UFOs.
Yeah. Don't forget a truck full of dynamite.
And a truck full of dynamite.
Yeah, there you go.
The world is your oyster.
Yeah, there it is. There you have it. Granger Taylor. Holy
I
shit.
know. Fly
Awesome
on,
story.
brother. Fly
Yeah,
on.
do it, man. Get
Dude,
it done.
we're all stuck down here painting trucks with Darren while he's fucking
I
cruising
know,
the cosmos.
really. So Darren's like, I wish
Maybe.
I was here fucking painting trucks with this guy, but I can't because he's doing cool shit right now, the aliens. Maybe he's with the man. No, the Manises are dicks.
Oh, my
Who are
God.
the cool ones? The Nordics, right? They're
Well,
kind
they're
of
supposed to be.
All
But
right.
I think that's a little Eurocentric bias
some
there.
reptilians are
slightly.
supposed to be okay, but they
No,
might
really?
eat you.
I thought they were all dicks.
Some of them want to protect you, some of them want to eat you.
I don't know.
There's that guy from Dolce or whatever.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Dolce
Costello or was his name Costello, right? The guard who
Yeah,
like,
Elvis Costello.
He
No, I know
stopped
what
them
you're
from
talking about.
fighting with the
Yeah,
Greys
Elvis
and shit.
Costello.
We'll cover him. We're going to cover him one day.
No, Phil Schneider. Yeah.
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 Phil Schneider,
Not-
yes.
not
Not
Elvis
Elvis
Costello.
Not Elvis Costello.
No, not
no,
at all.
he is a legend in UFO lore.
Elvis Costello?
Oh, my God.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for that.
Yep. That'll
Him
never
and-
happen.
him
He
and David
wrote a lot
Bowie.
of dope stuff.
He did.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
he was a fine musician.
Totally.
Is.
Thank y'all.
He's still alive, right?
Sure.
Elvis Costello? Yeah.
I didn't know. Everyone, we lost our Bowies. We lost a lot of good people.
Ah, yeah, we did. All right.
All right, so
there it is. Enough
there it
sadness.
is. They
Thank
all
you
can't
all.
be joyous, but let's just pray he's riding the cosmic waves.
Third time is a charm. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. We are about to record our last episode of Patreon for November, and then we're going to have some December Patreons coming for you. Ooh, what's it going to be? Could it possibly be a Kryptonaut After Dark, featuring some
it
stories from Mr. Chuck Tingle?
Oh my God!
Is that what we're doing?
We might. I don't know. It could be a
We
chapter.
did go down that rabbit
It could be
hole.
2 chapters. It
With
could
some-
be.
with our
last
Discord buddies.
last week was
Yeah.
like
There was a lot of pounding happening.
Oh my
with
God!
Mr. Chuck.
It
Tingle.
was a
I was
ruthless
crying.
pounding.
I was
it was
at some of
hilarious.
those
so
fucking
hard.
titles, yeah.
Dude, I had to call my wife downstairs to be like, "Oh my God,
I
look,
remember.
pounded in the ass by a werewolf," and she couldn't fucking deal with it. She's
That
like-
was like the least of it.
She
It was
no,
so
she thought that
meta
it was
and existential.
She
It was unbelievable.
She was sending me screenshots
So
all
good.
week long of Chuck Tingle shit. Like, "Oh my God, look at this! This is amazing."
He must write them like in a week.
She might be the new. She might have her new email address. iHeartChuckTingle@AOL.com. I think she could
Is
be in
that a
Chuck
real
Tingle.
thing?
She
Are you
could be. I don't
confessing
know.
right now?
Dude,
He-
Nicole Space Raptor in my butt.
Exactly. I want to Photoshop that now. My wife's had
Fucking Space Raptor. I
So many
can't.
space
I fucking
raptors.
can't.
So thank you to everyone that supports us in the Patreon. We appreciate it. The Discord, check it out. It is fucking awesome. As we just mentioned, we were just here talking about Chuck Tingle last weekend. It was fucking hilarious. It was such a good time. Hellerspace.com. Get yourself that merch. Tapestries, pillows.
Tapestries, Tillos.
Laptop cases, which I didn't really talk a lot about because it's a laptop case. I don't know. Get yourself a laptop case.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
weird.
8-track cassettes.
Phone phone cases. Yes, 8 tracks might come at one point. But obviously, we always have our T-shirts, our hoodies, our totes, our crew necks, our long sleeves, baby onesies.
Wow.
We got baby onesies
Yeah.
for the little ones.
The babins.
The little tinies.
Little teeny
Because there's nothing a little tiny baby needs more
than a kryptonite
than a
onesie.
picture of us on a onesie.
Of course.
And actually, we do have, I think, a listener. I'm pretty sure Laura Cram got one for her son.
Oh,
It's
bless
fucking
her.
Oh, no
adorable.
shit.
It's goddamn adorable.
It's a cute kid.
It's just a little baby with us on there.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's adorable.
Agreed.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
All right,
Well
the-
done, Laura.
The Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks. I have not been very active on the Facebook. I
You
will
never
admit.
are.
I know. But I've really put a distance to it. But I still want to say thank you to our admins over there at our Facebook page. They are doing a hell of a job of holding that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
down.
Always.
They are putting out tiny little fires for us left and right, which we appreciate.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they actually do it quite a bit. They are
I know,
our
Jesus.
SEAL Team 6.
Oh, my God.
They really are. It's like, fuck.
Dude, some of this shit, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I love you guys for liking us so much to handle this shit. Thank you all.
Yes,
it is so very
absolutely.
awesome of you. We appreciate it. But yeah, the Twitters, the Instas, the Facebooks, check that shit out. That is gonna do it, and we'll be talking with you soon.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
If you know you're going to do acid,
Yep.
make sure somebody who's not on acid puts explosives safely away.
Yeah.
Yep.
When
That
you're
makes
on
sense.
your way
Yep.
to the new future.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you have make sure you have a trip guide, as we call it.
Yeah.
Somebody to give you a hand. Who's like, you know what, Mark? Don't wear that dynamite as a jacket. It's a bad idea.
Do not duct tape the dynamite
Yeah, onto your legs
to your
as a
fucking
suit.
elbows
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, this is great."
Also, when you're talking to that exceedingly brilliant ET that's blowing your mind, and then they suggest that maybe you need to get that extra 22 feet closer to the UFO by blowing yourself into
Yeah,
it,
don't, man. Don't do it.
he's being a dick.
That could be some.
At that point,
Yeah,
you're getting punked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
into
no, that is
little tiny atomized bits.
Yeah.
That's where you just got to throw your double middle fingers up at the aliens.
Fuck
yeah. Those
Like
are
your
those
Eminem
are
and
just
8 Mile.
They're trolling.
Like,
They're
fuck
not
you.
real. Those
Yeah.
aren't the real aliens.
No.
They're the
asshole-
garbage
Those are the
aliens.
asshole fucking MySpace aliens.
Oh,
Yeah. If
Yeah.
they say you can bounce your house your way, legit,
No,
explode your way.
No,
F
not
off.
good. Never do it.
Truth.
We will be talking with you soon.
Bye.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye.